So like I mentioned in the previous video for the Tigers, this is the elimination game. The last game was the elimination game. We lost the first game, won the second game, and now this will be it. If we win, we obviously move on. If we're done, we're done. This is against the team, again, same as before, that is super talented, scores a lot of goals, can play with their food if they want to. Generally doesn't try that hard. Playoffs is kind of a different beast. They do try really hard. They also have a bunch of players that chirp a lot. So they really get under people's skins a lot. And you can hear, I think, probably some of them in here chirping me. And I don't have any issues with it because I play with them too. And so it's all just good ribbing. But a lot of people who play against them get really upset about it for some reason. Kind of causes things. So there was a fight in the first game. I think the second game was relatively pretty calm. This one doesn't get that bad, but their team really bugs a lot of teams. And it's always like the verbal stuff. So it's kind of funny in that sense. But this is a tough team to play against. I have to play very, very good in order for us to be close, and we'll kind of see what happens here. So if you're buying hockey equipment and you want to support the channel, check out the links in the description. In the US, check out the links to Pure Hockey. In Canada, check out the links to Hockey Supremacy. If you click those links and make a purchase, I get a kickback from the sale. So anything that comes back from that comes right back into the channel, so I can make more content and doing like real reviews and stuff. I got buy gear to do a lot of the tests for it, so that costs money and it would be greatly appreciated. Otherwise, if you want to support the channel without buying anything, check out links in the description to Patreon, buy me a coffee. Everything through there comes again back into the channel, so I can make more content and doing real reviews.
Y'all
ready for this?
Ball, ball, ball.
So unfortunately, that is it for the Tigers, and I've been informed this year that they aren't putting another team in, which is very unfortunate, and they're not playing in this league anymore. So this season that is currently being shown, I was on 3 teams. Now I'm only going to be on 2, so that's disappointing. The Tigers, before this league kind of merged into itself, it was in the bottom division, so they played against less talented players. Like, this team was always in the top division. The Tigers, they're getting older and they're having a bit harder time getting more people out, so they don't want to play against guys like this anymore who all played pretty competitive hockey. Most of them played pretty competitive hockey, and who are just younger than them. The Tigers' average age is probably 10 years older than this other team, and there is newer, younger teams coming in the league. So they didn't want to keep going down that route and have to grind out every single game like this, and it's kind of disappointing. They did really well in this season. They finished 5th, or I think, and that was good enough, or 5th or 4th. It was good enough, and they could compete. But I guess from the team that used to be in the top of the bottom division all the time, and it's not like they dominated, but they played well in that bottom division, they just really didn't feel like they could bring it every night and wanted to put the effort in every night. I'm not going to say the effort, it seems like they don't try, but you have to really try hard to play against some of these teams, and it seems like they didn't want to go that route. So unfortunately, they don't exist anymore, and this was our final game in this league. I don't know if anything's going to happen in the future. I know they play Shinny every Saturdays now, so I don't know what's going to happen with that. Hopefully they come back maybe somewhere else, and because I really have a whole full set of gear that looks great with them, and I love this team, so it's a kind of unfortunate end to it all. For the game itself, it was not that bad. It wasn't that dirty. There were a few things that were kind of dumb. One of the guys on the other team slashed my stick out of my hand when I played the puck behind the net, which should have been a penalty and was kind of stupid, but it wasn't that bad, and it's nothing compared to what happens to me later in this playoff series, not against this team, against other teams. So it's no real issues there. They weren't that bad. I thought overall the Tigers played decent, and I thought I played pretty good overall as well. The goals against, the first one was a breakaway that we gave up from their zone. We saw that flip pass and we just kind of didn't come back, and it's against a guy who plays professional lacrosse and has fantastic hands. He always scores on me, and once again he scores on me, makes a decent move on the breakaway. I'm not the best at breakaways, and again, this guy's hands, so he scored on me, so kind of sucks in that sense. So the second goal ends up being a 2-on-1 basically in our zone with 2 guys that are honestly pretty good hockey players. I play a shooter because he can score and everything, passes it across ice, gets around our defense, and the guy in, and it hits my hip and goes in. I tried to reach more with it with my blocker to try to cover the far. He put it more in the center off me, and so it kind of sucks there. I don't push off great here. I don't get really square to it. The guy who has the puck originally, who makes a pass, played for Erie Otters 4 years ago, and he can play hockey and he can score, so I can't do anything against him. I have to play him. He makes a nice pass, and the guy who shoots just gets a quick shot off, and I just don't get square to him, don't move over fast enough. So kind of disappointing, but it was a decent play by them overall and a pretty solid goal. The third goal is really the only goal I really want back. It was, just to be totally blunt, a terrible giveaway by our team in our zone, but the guy just skates across the crease, and I get square to him in the center of the ice. I don't know why. It was the moment that he got full control of the puck, and I just instantly got squared thinking he was going to shoot right away. He holds onto it. I'm off angle. I try to adjust and slide into it, and I'm just too slow. He puts it right off the post and puts it in, and just barely off the post. It was a very nicely placed shot, but it's a shot that should never go in, and because I preset myself too soon, it didn't follow where he was going. I got off angle and he put it in. This one was a lot on me, and I'm pretty disappointed in this one, and it was really at a pretty important time. It was 2-0 in the game, and this relatively weak goal goes in, makes it 3-0. That's a really tough lead to come back from. I kind of put our team in a bad spot here, so that's disappointing. And then finally we have what ends up basically being a 3-on-2, and we scored a goal to make it 3-1, so kind of back. But then when that happens, you can kind of see that my teammates trailing this play, they're trying to play a lot of offense to get more goals back, and that's what leads to this. 3-on-2 becomes a 2-on-1. I'm playing the shooter, who again, guy can shoot, and there's a guy backdoor all alone, and the fake shot is really just a nice pass to him, and he puts it in. So there's not a whole lot you can really do here, unless I don't challenge a shooter at all. But with this team, you have to play the shooters, and you have to kind of come out a bit, because all of them can shoot, and all of them can pick corners, and all of them, like I said, have basically played good hockey. So overall, the whole end of the game wasn't that bad. This is a very, very good team, easily the most talented team in the league if they try, and in the playoffs they definitely try, and the fact that we brought them to 3 games was a pretty good feat, and we'll see how that ends up in the future if I have to play them again with one of my other teams, and so we'll see that. Very disappointed ending to the Tigers as a whole, as a franchise or whatever you call them, and I really hope we can do something with them in the future. But it was great playing with these guys, and unfortunately once that COVID season that killed everything. Once that COVID season hit and this team didn't play, it was kind of the beginning of the end, and this was unfortunately one more season, and then that was it. So that's about it. Thank you very much for watching the Tigers journey. I think there's a lot of years of footage of this team. I think there's some really fun old games back there that they played and they won some championships. I always feel like I'm trying to reach that level of hockey I played back then, like when this team won some championships. So it'd be kind of interesting. Go back to those videos and kind of watch them, because they were fun times and a lot of shots against, and the team played a really interesting, good playoff style. So again, disappointed this season is over and this team is kind of done for now, but hopefully maybe that'll change in the future.
You're watching HockeyReviews.ca.